Hello students, welcome to AriserTalent. I am your math teacher Arpita Sharma. So we have completed our chapter 1. Now moving to chapter 2, that is polynomial. Okay, so what is a polynomial? What is a polynomial? We have discussed the same chapter in class 9th. So what we are going to study in class 10th? Okay, here are many more questions that you are thinking about. So first is to clear the basics of your chapter so that if you are having any doubt in class 9th or any basics, some less than you have to understand are not good enough, then you will be studying it here. So, polynomials. Polynomials, we can say it poly and nomial. What does the word poly means? Means more than one. Okay, so poly means basically more than one. Many is poly. Polynomial, when we study this in mathematics, we called it a series of terms. Series of terms joined together by addition or subtraction. Okay. This term is having, because I am saying series of terms. Now the question arises, what is a term? What is the meaning of a term? So term is nothing but having two parts, number part and variable part. If I am having 4x, so 4 will be number part and x will be variable part. Now, example 3x, I have told you the number part is simply the number part. We have some coefficient here, we will call this number part a coefficient. Okay, so it can be any constant. Numbers are constant. We have taken a, b and c constant in our equations in the last class. Okay, so the number part is coefficient and the term the second part of term is variable part, right? Now this variable part is again having two parts. First, the variable itself, that can be x, y, z, and the power, that power is exponent, right? This power is exponent part and the itself x is variable part. So we are defining term in a systematic manner here so that we can understand that what our chapter actually requires to learn. Okay. So specific names for polynomial. If you are having only one term in your polynomial, then you will call it monomial. If you are having two terms, you will call it binomial. If you are having three terms, we will call it trinomial, and if more than three, we will call it polynomial. Basically, we call these all as polynomial, but we have bifurcated this in this form, right? So what is the meaning of this? Green box is some coefficient and the pink box is what? A variable. Okay, so let me take some example like 4x 3y square plus 4y, then let me take this 3x and 5y plus 16. Now 5y 3x, let me take it like minus 6 and here only y square, then have some number 54. Okay, now when you look at this and this portion, we are having only number part here. We are not having any variable part here. So, how this has become a term? Because we have studied that term will have two parts, that is one the number part and the second one is a variable part. This is not having somehow the variable part, and if I write only x here, so it's also a term, it's also called a term. Then why it's having only one part, that is variable part, not number part? So here's the answer. We can write x equals to 1 multiplied by x. So it's like your best buddy. Whether he or she is not with you, still here. So x for sure is a term. Now 54, let's take 16 or 54, we'll take 54. How can I rewrite 54? I can rewrite 54 as 54 multiplied by x raised to the power 0. Now, you have read this before. The value of x to the power 0 is nothing but 1. So, again, it's 54. So, yes, this is a term and this is a term. Its number part's not showing there and its variable part is not showing there, but it's hidden. Alright. So now you have studied monomial, binomial, trinomial and polynomials. Then what's next? Polynomial expressions example. Now the exponent of a polynomial must always be a whole number. If it's not a whole number, that's not a polynomial expression at all. Okay, let's have a look at this one. 3x square. Example of polynomial expression. 3 is what? Number. X square what? Variable. Yes, it is a polynomial expression. Then minus 4y. Now minus 4y is constant and y variable. So it is the coefficient. We will call the coefficient. We will call the constant as coefficient. So minus 4 is coefficient and y is variable. Now x power 50. Now x power 50 having 1 as constant and x to power 50 as variable. So it is now 3 multiplied by root q. Now how can you rewrite root q? It is nothing but 3 multiplied by q s to power 1 by 2. Now 1 by 2 is not a whole number. So the exponent form of this q, exponent of q is not a whole number because it doesn't belong to whole number w. So here it is not a polynomial. So it's not a polynomial. Like 1 by x, you can rewrite it like x raised to power minus 1. Now is minus 1 a whole number? No, it's an integer but not a whole number. So here again, this is not a polynomial. Now 3x square minus 2y minus 3z. So it's having variable x, y and z. So yes, it is a polynomial and it's having power like 2, 1 and 1. So whole number powers, we are having constant, we are having variable. So coefficient variable both are here and the power is also in whole number. So it's a polynomial in x, y and z, 3 variables. Okay, understood? Okay students, moving forward. Now you have done this question before in your class 9th. Which of the following expressions are polynomial in one variable and which are not? State reason for your answer. So look at this one. 4x square, 3x, 7. Okay, both 3 are terms. Now look at the power. 2, 1 and x to the power 0. So, both are whole numbers. So, the powers of 3 are whole number. Now, it is a polynomial, and the reason is it's having whole number as its power and it's having terms, 3 terms, valid terms. Now, in this, is this y square? Square is whole number. Now, root 2 is not a whole number, but we have not said that coefficient cannot be other than whole number. Coefficient can be a whole number or a rational number, right? But what cannot be happen, or irrational number also, but what cannot be happen, the power of variable cannot be other than whole number. So, yes, it is. Then the third one, 3 root t plus t root 2. This can be considered, but this cannot be considered because it means t has to power 1 by 2, 1 by 2 is not a whole number. So, no. Let me write it properly for you. Then the fourth one is y plus 2 by y. Now, 2 by y can be written as y square minus 1. Now, y minus 1 is again not from the set of whole number. So, it will be again no. X to the power 10, y raised to the power 3 and t raised to the power 50. These 3 terms are having some powers, and these 3 powers are again whole numbers. So, yes, but not in one variable, it is in 3 variable, but it is a polynomial. The answer of this is again no, because that have asked that expressions are polynomial in one variable. So, even it is having whole numbers as its power, but it is not in one variable, it is in 3 variable, right? Okay, students, moving forward, write the coefficient of x square. Correct this. This is x square in each of the following. Now, do it fast. X plus x square plus x. In this, what is the coefficient of x square? Clearly, we can write it in form 1 multiplied by x square. So, yes, coefficient of x square equals to 1. In the second one, look carefully, x square is here. Now, the coefficient of this is not 1 but minus 1. So, that will be minus 1. In the third one, pi x square by 2, pi x square by 2. Now, what generally students do, they write the coefficient as pi, but no, here coefficient is not pi, but pi by 2 is the coefficient of x square. So, we will write pi by 2. Here it was minus 1, here it was 1. Now, root 2x minus 1. Now, what generally students do, they just see this and write this like root 2 is the coefficient, but no, look carefully, we have asked about coefficient of x square, not coefficient of x. So, what will be the x square's coefficient? We can write this equation, rewrite this equation as it is root 2x minus 1 multiply, and in addition we can add a plus 1 sign and add a term x to power 2 multiply by 0. Now, this term will become 0. So, this term again represent this term. So, x square coefficient is nothing but 0 in this fourth term. I am rubbing this part. We are just revising. This is the reason I am doing it very fast, because you guys just have studied all these concepts in your previous class. Now, degree of polynomial. What is the degree of polynomial? The degree of polynomial, degree of polynomial is the highest power of variable, highest power of variable. I am saying it variable. Now look at this, 5x cube, 4x square, 7x. What are we having as the highest degree? 3, because the highest power is 3. Now in the second one, 121 r cube plus r raised to power 20 minus 11. The highest power is 20. Now in this, highest power is what? Y plus root 2, highest power is 1, because y can be written as y raised to power 1. Now 10. Now 10 is having no any kind of variable here. That means it has its hidden body, that is x to the power 0. So the highest degree is 0. So its degree will be 0. Okay. Now we have studied degree of polynomial. We have called linear polynomial. Linear polynomial to that particular polynomial whose highest degree is 1, then quadratic polynomial whose highest degree is nothing but 2, and cubic polynomial to the expression whose to the polynomial whose highest degree is 3. So we have called linear polynomials, quadratic polynomials, cubic polynomials. Now you may have any equation like, name this, x cube plus 3 x square plus x plus 16. So this is what? Linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial or cubic polynomial? You will answer cubic polynomial. Now linear polynomial will be having only maximum 2 terms. Quadratic polynomial will be having only maximum 3 terms, and the cubic will have only maximum 4. Let me make you understood it in a better way with an example. Now if you are having some equation like 4x plus 6x plus 8x plus 1 plus 16 that equals to 0. Now you can resolve this. This is 10 plus 18x plus 17. Okay. So this polynomial is what? Having only 2 terms because it's linear polynomial. In case of x square, if we add some x square term, it will be written as polynomial of x, that will be 9x square plus 18x plus 17. Same for this. So you will be having your highest degree plus 1 number of terms, your highest degree plus 1 number of terms in any polynomial. Okay. Now zeros of polynomial, we have studied it in class 9th also. What is a zero of polynomial? If px equals to any equation like ax square plus bx plus c. Now if at p k at a particular value of x is equals to what? K. If this value of this term becomes 0, then this is what? 0 of that polynomial. So 0 of a polynomial is nothing but the value at which the value of polynomial becomes 0. That will be 0 of polynomial. Now, in previous classes, you have studied that by the graph, you can find that there are how many zeros of polynomial. Okay, in this graph, this line is cut by this line. This is a particular line of any polynomial. Now, if this line is cutting this, no. So, we are having 0 zeros. We have no zeros of polynomial here. There is no value that can make that expression equals to 0. Okay. In this, look at this line. This line is cutting this line at one point, only one point. So, we will be having only 1 zeros of polynomial, 1 zero of polynomial. There will be only one value at which this particular expression will become 0. Now, in the third, it is cutting out 1, 2 and 3 points. So, it will be have 3 zeros of polynomial. In the next one, it will be having 1 and 2 points. So, 2 zeros of polynomial. In next one, it is having 1, 2, 3 and 4 points. So, it will be having 4 zeros of polynomial. In this will be having 1, 2 and 3. 3 zeros of polynomial. Okay. So, we have just solved this question on our knowledge based on class 9. Now, in class 10, we will look that what it makes like this. Why it is so that if it is cutting at what point the value of 0 will be 1, value of zeros of polynomial will be 1, and if 2 place then 2, and if it does not cross this line then 0. Why is it so? We will study in our next lecture. Till then, keep watching. Thank you.